This video is brought to you by Channel Grim and Grin's own Screams from the Crypt. 20 tales of horror, sci-fi, and suspense. Available now. Hello, I'm Grim Grindo and welcome back to the final episode of Beginner's Luck, or at least the final episode of the first run of Beginner's Luck episodes. Whether there's more or not is entirely up to you, or more accurately, entirely up to me, but will be swayed heavily by the reaction of these videos. If enough people are watching it and liking it, I will of course happily make more, and if no one cares, then I'll happily move on to working on other projects. But regardless, it's the 6th episode and 3rd starring the Ocarina of Time, in which I'm taking on the 2nd adult Link boss with only 3 heart pieces. And yes, before you ask, I am still suffering from a cold, blame Grin. He was the first one to get it and spread it around the studio like some kind of typhoid Mary. But I digress, let's get back onto the topic, which is me versus the Fire Temple boss, who I can't really mention by name as it would probably get us demonetized if I did so, as its name sounds vaguely NSFW. This is my 3rd attempt at the boss, as my first 2 attempts ended in death. One of them I was hit by falling flaming rocks, and the other I jumped into molten lava, and I now have first-hand experience attesting to the fact that neither of those 2 things are good to do if you intend to stay alive. And this is probably a good time to remark that this is one of my favourite looking boss battles out there. It's an extremely cinematic boss battle from a time in which boss battles being extremely cinematic wasn't a euphemism to say that they weren't very good. I mean, these days if I was to say, oh, well, the boss battles are extremely cinematic, I'm probably making fun of the fact that it's almost entirely QuickTime events, and you might as well be watching a movie and just holding a controller that wasn't plugged into anything, randomly hitting buttons, and just enjoying the cinematography that went into the animation as you're not really playing. But in this, Ocarina of Time's battle against the Fire Temple boss, who I can't mention by name as it would probably get us demonetized as it sounds vaguely NSFW, this is very much not the case, as while they do manage to make it extremely cinematic, you still feel like you are in control the entire time of the battle. This is done through several different camera choices and changes, which are all done to really enhance the feeling of the battle. For instance, right now, when the rocks are falling, it's zoomed out really far and you can't even see the bad guy, and it makes Link, despite being adult Link, seem very small. And in a similar fashion, while the dragon is flying around, if you're locked onto it with Z targeting, you're given a worm's eye perspective, which shows your enemy to tower above you and dwarf you in size also. And then finally, it's only when the bad guy is on your level halfway out of a lava pit, in which the camera changes to be one that is traditionally used throughout the game when you're fighting a normal bad guy, and this should be the case, as of course it's at this point that the bad guy is vulnerable, and so is both literally and cinematically on equal standing with Link. But that's enough talk about cinematography. After all, this is a Beginner's Luck video, and not a video about film theory found within retro video games. Though, that does sound cool, and maybe I should do a video series on that at some point. But regardless, I digress, back onto the Beginner's Luck stuff. As you saw earlier, I took a hit from a falling rock, and instantly lost 2 heart pieces. That's a major problem, as I've of course gone into this battle with only 3 of them, and so taking only 2 hits will definitely kill me. As usual, before recording this, I looked up other Let's Plays online to see how many hearts other people have gone into this battle with, and there was one with 8, one with 9, and one with 15, so I've definitely entered with a disadvantage, though fortunately, it didn't make much of a difference as I'm great, and now the Fire Temple boss, who I can't mention by name as it would probably get us demonetized as it sounds vaguely NSFW, is soundly defeated. And so, having done so, we've not only come to an end of this video, but also the first run of Beginner's Luck videos. It's entirely mostly up to you guys if you want more. If enough people enjoy them and the videos get enough likes and comments, then I'll happily go and make more of them. So leave a like, leave a comment, and share it with your friends if you want to see another 6 of these videos. Let's see if I can take on Ganon. I bet I can. But regardless, thanks for watching, all of them, or if this is the only one you've seen, thanks for watching this one, and until next time, whether it be a Beginner's Luck video or not, I have been and still am Grim Grindo. If you would like to follow me on social media or join the Channel Grim and Grin Discord, the Echo Chamber, a link to both of those are in the description below. And also in the description below is a link to Grin's new book, Screams from the Crypt, as heard by Darkwell Bled, bringing you 20 tales of horror, sci-fi and suspense, so be sure to check that out also. Screams from the Crypt, as heard by Darkwell Bled. 20 tales of horror, sci-fi, and suspense. Available now.